Welcome to Make Ready TV, where the world's most experienced firearms professionals train you one-on-one in the comfort of your own home. I'm Matt Jaques.
And I'm Ceilidh Jeans. In our tactical training segment, we go to Rogers Shooting School in Ceilidh, Georgia, where Bill Rogers is going to go over grip, stance, and movement with a carbine.
Then we're going to go into our self-defense segment, where we're going to talk to Dave Spaulding. He's going to go over his skill-building pyramid.
And in segment 3, something for the ladies, Nikki Turpeaux is going to go over drawing from concealment.
And then as we move into our pro tips segment, we're going to talk to guys like Dean Caputo and Louis Awerbuck.
Now let's go to Bill Rogers.
We're going to talk about stance and grip with the M4 carbine. I teach that the stance is just like with a handgun. We have to have our knees bent. We want our feet separated about the width of your shoulders. You need if you're a right-hand shooter, you need your left foot slightly forward. You need to be able to bend at the waist and get some mass forward. The reason we bend our knees is because we have to be able to move instantly. If you have your knees straight, you'll have to bend your knees before you can move it. We have one foot in front of the other so that I can push off with this lead front going backwards, and I can push off with the back foot to go forwards. The stance is in a position like this. Our ready position would be here. As we drive the weapon up, this is pretty much what it looks like on our stance. You notice I'm bending at the waist just like it was a handgun, locked out. You'll notice that this hand goes forward when I'm shooting freestyle, offhand type of shooting. I actually get my hand as far forward because we have to drive the weapon quickly in order to shoot the target. You'll notice that my elbow kind of comes out. Some people radically put it out like this. I just put it in a comfortable position for me. It works right here. The strong hand that operates the weapon. Gene Stoner designed this weapon so it worked just like a 1911. For that reason, we operate all the other mechanisms while we keep a shooting grip on this. Your finger here with a controlling hand will operate the magazine release. But essentially what we want to do is, in order to load this weapon, we want to take and bring this bolt all the way back and look and make sure that we see a round ready to chamber, and then we let it solidly go forward so that we know the weapon is loaded. Once the weapon is loaded, we have the safety on. Right now there's an offset between the sight at this distance. You'll notice that there's a distance between the sight and the bore of the weapon. So if we design this, I'll actually show you later on how we sight the weapons in, but at this close, this weapon's going to shoot about 2 inches low. So let me just demonstrate that. We'll put a shot on the target. A little bit lower than what we anticipate. Let me try one more, and it's right there. So what I've got to do is I'm going to have to take and I'm going to have to drive this weapon to the forehead of the target in order to get the hit. We have to just learn that in our minds, that as we're close up, we necessarily need to be able to bring this weapon up about 2 inches higher than we would normally in order to shoot that target. So let's try it. You ready, Ronnie? We just finished engaging these targets, a half a second exposure from what we call the extended ready, not aimed at the target. Right now we're shooting it real close. This is 8 yards away from this target. We're shooting steel. It's necessary for us to shoot a weapon that's shooting pistol ammunition. This is a 9mm converted M4 that shoots 9mm ammunition. This is the only safe way we could actually accomplish this, but we're learning the same skills as if we were shooting a 5.56 rifle. This is going to be a movement drill where we're going to engage the targets on the move. The number one target, we need to get 2 body hits and attempt to hit the head before the other targets start operating. We're going to move forward to engage. Typically we have a cover position up here that's been removed for filming, but we'll do our shooting, our final shooting behind that cover. There'll be a forced reload in this as well, so we'll have to engage the targets on the move, make a reload, and engage the headshots. Again, they're all exposed for about a half a second. Let's do it.
Stand by.
And there's the movement drill with headshots, reload thrown into it. Fast targets.
Make Ready TV is brought to you by FNH USA, Smith & Wesson, TNVC, and Pro Ears.
Bill does a great job discussing all that stuff, just like the rest of the guys here at Panteao. And damn, I want to shoot on his steel range.
You know, you've been saying that for a couple episodes now, Matt, so now I know what to get you for your birthday.
It's good, because that's coming up.
Fantastic. And now let's go to Dave Spaulding and review his skill-building pyramid.
Okay, well, it's all well and good to talk about being combative or having a program, but we need to talk about how we build skills. It's just not enough to load a gun and go out and shoot at some pop cans. There's a methodology to doing this. And I want to tell you before I go forward that what I'm going to tell you is not mine. I got this from Naval Special Warfare, from a Navy SEAL who I was at a shooting school with. And he explained to me how this was done, and I liked it so well that I've continued to use it in my training programs. But it's a skill-building pyramid, once again, laying one block after another. Well, not surprisingly, the foundation of this pyramid is going to be those essential shooting skills that we're going to discuss. But once we've introduced those skills to you, and you understand how to go about grip or drawing from the holster, the next level is often the most difficult for many people, because what we're talking about now is concentration. Concentration is critical to building skills because you can't do it without focusing on what you're doing. Let me give you an example. Let's say that you've had some training and you swung by the discount store and you bought yourself 100 rounds of 9mm ammunition. You're going to run down to the gun club and practice. Well, if you get a really good buy on that 9mm ammunition, you probably laid out $25, $30. Now you're going to take maybe an hour of your valuable time to do this. Well, if you're thinking about, geez, I got to get to the kids' dance recital, or I need to get the oil changed in the car. I sure hope my wife isn't, upset with me because I stopped on the way home. If you're thinking about anything other than what you're accomplishing, what you're practicing, then it's a waste. Everything else that comes after that is a waste, and you're not going to advance your skill set. So what are we talking about concentrating on? Well, we go to the next level in that pyramid, and we're talking about consistency. What we're doing is we're having you concentrate on doing those essential skills consistently. For example, if we teach you to draw from the holster, your hands come back, they gather the pistol, they go to the target. You will do it the same way whether you're standing, kneeling, sitting. Because if you can do it the same way every time, then the gun will arrive where you need it to arrive to. You're doing a speed load. If you do it the same way every time, you will be able to perform that reload without conscious thought. And that's what we're trying to get at, is getting you to do these skills without having to think about them. Because in the middle of conflict, you can't think about this stuff. You've got to run on autopilot. If we can get you to concentrate on doing the essential skills consistently, then you will achieve the next level, and that's accuracy. And we're not talking about the level of accuracy you need to win the Bianchi Cup. We're not talking about how many, shots you can get in the X-ring. We're talking about having you deliver multiple shots to a hand-sized area under the stress and duress of armed conflict. That's the level of accuracy we're talking about. And then the top of that skill building pyramid is speed. And speed comes from concentrating on doing this consistently and eliminating unnecessary motion. Those things that you don't have to do to deploy the gun from the holster or from a ready position or perform a reload. If you can eliminate that unnecessary motion, then you will be fast. And I got to tell you, some of the trendy things I'm seeing these days require a lot of movement to accomplish. And if you're moving, then you're not delivering rounds to the target. If you're doing anything other than dumping the magazine and putting another one in and getting the gun back on target, you're taking up time. And let me tell you something, folks. Time is life. And anybody that thinks that time isn't critical in a fight, they're being naive. I once had a famous instructor tell me that don't worry about being fast, be accurate. That's not realistic. These things take place in a few seconds, so you have to take speed into account. But if we build our skills along this pyramid, concentrate on doing the essentials consistently, which will develop accuracy, and then eliminating unnecessary motion, you will be fast enough to once again prevail when you need it most.
You know, I'm glad Dave got to share that pyramid. I still think there needs to be a very large poster made of that.
I agree. There hasn't been a good pyramid poster since like the 1980s nutritional guide.
True.
Yeah. Up next, something for the ladies with Nikki Turpeaux, where she goes over drawing from concealment.
All right, ladies, welcome to the concealed carry methods portion. We're going to take a walk through a typical day, and I'm starting my day out in my pajamas. First thing I'm going to do is take my dogs out, pick up the paper out of the driveway, maybe stop by the mailbox. Now, carrying a gun with me is important. A lot of crimes happen in the early morning hours when people are unsuspecting. You feel the safest at your home, don't you? Predators know this, particularly if it's someone that's been watching you for some time. You may not even know it. You want to make sure that you have some method of protection with you. Right now, I'm concealed carrying one gun. It's a small pocket pistol, and it's chambered in .22 caliber. It's the Beretta 21A tip-up barrel. Now, that gun is right here inside my waistband, and it's held on to the top of my PJ pants by the covert carry clip. Some people think that you shouldn't carry a gun unless it's officially holstered. But for me, I know that this gun has an external safety and a heavy double action trigger. So by having this gun inside my waistband with the safety on and that heavy trigger pull, this gun's not just gonna go off at any time. It's completely safe to have this gun tucked right inside your pajama pants, right there underneath your t-shirt so that no one can see it, but that you're not caught outside your home, vulnerable, with no way to defend yourself if trouble should arise. I'm going to show you how easy it is to draw this pistol from your pajama pants if something happens outside your house in the morning. See? Really easy. It's very lightweight, and you can put it right there. You got it with you, and you're still hands-free. So if you're taking little ones outside with you, if you're taking your dogs out on a leash, your hands are free. You don't have to worry about carrying a bag with you or even carrying a really large, cumbersome gun out the door with you. It's lightweight, simple, and it's a way to defend yourself. Now, ladies, for those of you that are independent business owners, or if you're women who are just concealed carrying on the job, maybe inside the workplace, or maybe you're something like a real estate agent, or you travel a lot for business and want to have your handgun with you for extra protection. I am wearing the ALS shoulder holster from Safariland. I've got on just a simple skirt, a camisole, and a little sweater on top, and you can't tell that I'm wearing the shoulder holster. Now, ALS stands for auto locking system. So this particular holster that I'm wearing has an extra added measure of security. So if you have to bend over to pick something up out of your trunk or find some files in the cabinet beside your desk, that gun's gonna stay in place and it's not gonna slip out and fall on the ground. In this particular outfit, if I identified a threat, all I'd have to do is reach right inside my sweater, press down the auto locking system lever, pull my Smith & Wesson 642 out, press out, and fire. All I need to do to reholster is just simply pull my sweater aside, slide the 642 back in place, and wait for the click to know that it's securely back in place just in case I might need it again. Okay, ladies, this is just a dress that I can use to go out to dinner with friends or a night on the town. I want to show you two different methods of concealment that will work for this outfit. The first one I want to show you is another kangaroo carry holster that goes around your body. Now, this particular one is called the Air Marshal, and it holds a mid-size to a full-size 9mm pistol. If you ever have to reach in to draw this pistol, all you simply would do in this dress is reach right inside, get a good master grip on that gun, pull it out, press out, and fire. It's just that simple. This is a mid-size Glock 19 9mm pistol. Again, capacity total 16. Now, I'm just going to make this one safe and lay it down. I'm going to show you the next method of concealment. Now, in this dress, it's a little bit loose away from my body. I wouldn't recommend using this next method with a dress that's form-fitting. However, in this particular design, you can wear a smart carry. Now, I'm going to show you this holster, and the way that you deploy your pistol is that you actually have to lift your garment. But if your life depended on it, I think that you would be able to do it. Now, you lift this up. All you simply do is reach down, hold on to the holster, reach down, pull out your pistol, press out, and fire. Now, this is the Beretta Pico, chambered in .380. It's nice and streamlined, fits right down inside that little pouch. It's also got the other opening here. You can have an additional magazine, your lip gloss, your ID, whatever you'd like. Some people ask me if this is comfortable enough to sit down in. So I'm just simply going to show you that I can come and I can sit down comfortably in this. It's right there in my lap, and it's very, very comfortable, and no one can tell that I'm carrying a lethal weapon.
You know, Nikki has some great tips for women on there, and there's a lot of wardrobe questions for women on things like that. So hopefully that'll help out.
Yeah, I don't think that poor guy was expecting that when she pulled up her dress. Oops. Up next, let's go to Dean Caputo and Louis Awerbuck for some pro tips.
The Make Ready TV Pro Tips are presented by Battle Comp Enterprises.
In regards to your 1911 pistol that has a rail, this fairly new innovation is not being well kept up with in regards to training issues. One of the things I like to advise people is when you're putting the light on the weapon, you need to have the weapon in a lockback safe condition. If the weapon is forward, and as you put the light on, you can actually pass your hand in front of the muzzle. It's a very tricky operation to do safely with a loaded weapon. You're probably better off installing the light when the weapon is back and locked to the rear. That way you can load the weapon and it's safe. In regards to using it, there are a number of different issues. One of them, and I've already seen one negligent discharge with weapon-mounted lights, is that you're operating the system sometimes with your trigger finger, sometimes with a tab where you grip it. If you grip it, a natural tendency is as you're gripping and pressing that tab to light the weapon, your finger can go into the trigger guard. You need to be conscious of this and have your finger up and on some type of registered part of the weapon, whether it's the ejection port or the slide stop, something that mentally you can feel with your finger and know that you're off the trigger. As you're manipulating it, obviously you can turn it, come onto the target, or you can operate it with your thumb. A lot of people always want to operate it with their trigger finger in case they're firing the weapon one-handed. Either way, however you do it, you need to work out how you're going to manipulate this weapon light so that you don't have a negligent discharge.
These close quarters confrontational distances, your opponent is not actually 6 feet away from you. If you have your gun extended, he has his arm extended, he's 3-4 inches away. It's too far to fire from that close quarters position. If you're off 10 degrees with the muzzle, you're going to miss. You need another 6 inches closer for that. So once this happens and you get a malfunction, the quickest way out of it is just to suck this back, get the other gun too close to him, reverse feet, shoot from a close quarters confrontational position with this, a weapon retention position. And obviously start backing up. Then once I get clear of him, I can go to this. At this stage, I'm reholstering this pistol because obviously both of my arms are still working under these given circumstances. and I can keep going with this one, reload this weapon, and or do whatever I need to do and finish the fight off with that. Much quicker than trying to fix a malfunction, because a malfunction, you don't know it's coming. So the clearance time to manipulate this with no blood going to your fingers, you're better off going to a second gun if it is quickly accessible, which means it needs to be quickly accessible, or you're just fooling yourself. It's like Linus in a Peanuts comic strip, walking around with a blanket. It's a security blanket, but it's nothing else because you can't get to it. This is not a new concept. Medieval England, longbows, they carried a spare bowstring for their longbows in medieval England. The New York reload, what's colloquially known as the New York reload, was switching from one gun to the other in the 1960s, 1950s. NYPD came up with that. Civil War prior to that. Multiple guns, always better than trying to clear a malfunction. You need to know how to clear the malfunctions. But it's unlikely, if you check documentation, it's unlikely that you're going to find cases with these close quarters confrontational fights where anybody ever fixed one. And we have to go on what's happened in the past and not what should work tomorrow morning. That's just theory, that's not practice.
Make Ready TV is brought to you by Brownells, the SIG Academy, Rand Innovations, and Carbine.
You know, everybody talks about bringing a gun to a gunfight, and Louis is a staunch supporter of bringing two. And Dean's got great advice about mounting those lights on handguns, and I hope everybody mounts a light that way.
Yeah, if I was ever in a gunfight, I would want to bring those two guys, maybe like 6 or 7 other instructors that we have here.
Yeah, that'll work.
Yeah. For more training one-on-one with our instructors, either via streaming video or DVD, go onto our website at makereadytv.com.
And remember, you can review all this stuff on that website, and you can get a lot of great tips. But as always, we want you to train smart, train often, victory first.
The Make Ready DVDs are available from Brownells.com.
Someone's getting sued.
Oh, that is, I just see it already.
What are you doing?
Shoot him.
What was the question?